No minutes. No more minutes. We got time to start a hangout here for the Wholesale Real Estate Investing Show number 252 by SAHA. And welcome, everybody. This is just like what I just said, the Wholesale Real Estate Investing Show by SAHA number 252 on this 27th day of April 2016 on a Wisdom Wednesday. Welcome all you wholesale real estate investors, all you real estate investors of any kind, especially anybody who's interested in potentially becoming a wholesale real estate investor. It's very interesting. We were in a mastermind meeting, a study group last night, and we were talking about the different kinds of acquisition strategies for real estate, one of them being wholesaling. And the presenter, Zach, asked me to speak about wholesaling to wholesaling a little bit as far as does it involve a lot of time? And in all actuality, I really didn't ever thought about it until he brought up that question. But yeah, wholesale real estate does actually involve a lot of time. It gets presented in your educational systems that it's so easy that you spend 4 hours on a deal and make 10 grand, right? Which in all actuality, on that deal, yes, you spent 4 hours, but everything else that went into being able to put you in position to put that 4 hours in on that deal took a whole heck of a lot of time. But with that, I just want to say good day to everybody before we get into the show here, and say hi to John, my business partner here in the SAHA, Arizona wholesale real estate business company that we have here with our PropertyNoodlers system. And how you doing, John? Where are you hanging out from?
Hey, Paul. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Hangout. I'm really excited about today's show, hearing Paul's little teaser there in the beginning. And I am hanging out from my car en route to my new office in Phoenix, Arizona. I was coming from my old office. Paul and I have recently upgraded our space, so I went to go pick up the last of my belongings so I can move right on in. So that's who I am, what I'm doing, where I'm at, and yeah, very excited, Paul, to dive right into your content here this morning.
Yeah, you were actually outside at that point when this question came up last night, but Zach was talking about the different acquisition strategies for property, like for buying properties, for the people that are like looking for doing fix and flips and buy and holds and stuff, and they can get their properties from foreclosures, from auctions, from short sales, from wholesalers, from MLS, from for sale by owners, yada, yada, yada. And he was kind of going through the list a little bit, talking about each thing. And then he got to the wholesaling part of it. And he started talking about wholesaling, as far as like wholesaling as the business. He said, first of all, yeah, you can get your properties from wholesalers who, for those of you who don't really understand wholesaling or are interested in maybe getting into wholesaling, from what I understand, wholesaling, involves a lot of time and effort to be successful at it. And he goes, we got a very successful wholesaler right here in the room in the group here tonight. Would you have something to say towards that, Paul? And I was like, oh well, actually, yeah, wholesaling does take a lot of time because you've got all the time that it takes to, first of all, educate yourself on it. Second of all, start doing things, putting out marketing, which also includes a lot of cost. Once your marketing is out there, you got to put time in with talking to sellers, qualifying deals, comping properties, preparing contracts, making offers, getting contracts, opening escrows. Then you got to go into the whole second half of wholesaling, which is now finding your buyers, marketing for buyers, doing all that stuff, negotiating contracts for sale, and preparing contracts and getting those out. So a whole lot of time goes into getting wholesale deals. And that was where the conversation went last night. And like I said, I never really thought about it before. I mean, I have thought about it when we've talked about how much time and effort that it takes to go into wholesaling to be successful at it, and that when a buyer has a problem with the amount of money that you're making on a wholesale flip, it's like, you know what, hey, don't be backing down from that, because you've put a lot of effort into that thing, and you deserve to make the money that you're making on your wholesale deals.
Oh, sorry, Paul, about that. Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things that you're getting at here is one of the things that most people encounter. I'm not going to slam on my brakes. Everybody's locking up on the highway. One of the things people encounter when they take most of the education that's out there is they make wholesaling sound like something that's really easy to get started in, and it's almost presented as the stepping stone to getting rich quick. In fact, there is no such thing as getting rich quick, and like Paul said, a lot of time and effort goes into actually bringing a wholesale deal to fruition, and it's not as easy, especially for somebody that's just starting out in this business, just getting into wholesaling. It's not easy to get your first deal. It's a lot more than understanding how to comp properties and mailing a bunch of letters out to a list of absentee owners. Really, you got to know how to be a salesperson, really, how to present yourself in terms of the value you offer to the other person. And it's not just that time effort of education, as Paul mentioned, but it's also, there is money. A lot of people get into wholesaling feeling that, all right, this is a place to begin if you don't have money, because I can get in a deal without actually having to have any money to close on it myself, which, theoretically is essentially true. But it's going to take money in order to market, to find those sellers, those mythical, the all-powerful, all-mythical motivated seller. I mean, they're out there. They're not a myth. They exist. But I would guarantee anybody jumping into wholesaling after taking a guru course online is most likely going to be several months until they actually get a deal and until they actually get that conversation going. And then when you get that conversation going, you even know how to handle that conversation.
And another thing too is where I was actually going to take today's show is, what is your niche? What we were talking about there, we started is, when people are looking to do buy and hold and fix and flip and whatnot, they have several different arenas from which they can acquire properties. Well, when you get into wholesaling, there are also several different arenas or niches from which you can find properties, or from which you can find deals. And a lot of wholesalers, do end up focusing on certain niches where they find their deals. And I mean, there's a number of them. You could go after pre-foreclosures. You could go after free and clear properties. You could go after notice of defaults. You could go after for sale by owners. You could go after absentee owners. You could go after HUDs. You could go after code violations, probates, vacant properties, Craigslist, co-wholesaling. I mean, you could pick. There's a number of different places that you can pick from to try and chase down that elusive, motivated seller that John speaks about. And in all of these areas, there are motivated sellers in every one of those categories I read, and there's more than what I just read. Ours happens to be properties where we get an opportunity to clean up title issues. That's a place where we do some of our work. And it's just like there's so many different avenues within wholesaling that isn't really discussed too much, as far as what is it, where do you want to go, where do you want to put your focus on wholesaling. A lot of times, The pre-foreclosure NODs are mentioned, the free and clears are mentioned, the absentee owners are mentioned, and probates are mentioned, and that's about it. But there's really a whole bunch of other things that you eventually go after to find your motivated sellers. And some of these are really saturated with other wholesalers already doing it in these areas. Some big baller wholesalers that are already doing it in these areas. You got to realize that you're going up against some stiff competition with your, maybe you have a limited marketing budget and you can only send out, you can only put $100 a month into marketing. You've got this very, very small limited budget, and you're going up against the guy who's putting out, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 20,000, $40,000 a month in marketing, and you're putting out $100 a month, and you're going up against that in some of these more popular categories from which to find wholesale deals. So yeah, it can be really a really tough battle to find that first deal. And unfortunately, it's always made to sound so easy that yeah, you send out 100 letters, you're going to talk to 10 people, you're going to get one deal. Well, that's not necessarily the case. 10 people you talk to may not even have a problem that you can fix in the first place with your, mathematical quotation of 60 cents on the dollar minus repairs. So, all 10 of those people may not go, fall into that category, and your 100 marketing pieces got you 10 phone calls, got you talking to 10 people, but 10 people that you didn't know how to do anything for. So, what is your niche? Where do you want to go? This is an area that starting out in wholesaling, you're really going to want to look at and study and figure out, okay, well, where do I want to put my focus in this?
Absolutely. I think one of the important things I want to mention back to where you said, people are under the misconception that if they send out 100 letters, they're going to get 10 phone calls and get a deal every time. That's just not the case, actually, at all. I think it may vary from market to market depending on your saturation of investors and the saturation of we buy houses signs and the amount of investors in your market. So if you're in a smaller market than Phoenix, maybe things are a little different. But statistically, and most gurus, if they're honest, most wholesalers, if they're honest, will tell you that if they're doing a mail marketing campaign, they're getting about a 2 to 3% rate of return on the callbacks. So the theory about if I make 10 offers, I'll get one accepted. Well, if you do the math, if you sent out 100 letters and the response rate is 2 to 3, and let's just say you actually get 3 calls, in order to get to 10 people, you're going to have to send out over 325 letters to theoretically get 10 people to call, minimum, which is going to cost you about $325. And you might, as Paul said, you might talk to those 10 people and still not get a deal. Quite honestly, really to be effective, a mail marketing campaign, you really need to be sending out a minimum, in my opinion, of 1,000 letters a month routinely, because I think a lot of wholesalers that don't understand sales and marketing might send out one letter, not get a call back, and then take that name off their list when they really need to be continually touching upon the person. So that's another little caveat. And what a lot of the wholesaling courses teach out there that I've found, because I've done a lot of them, is they teach you mostly about the mechanics of how to wholesale a deal, how to evaluate a neighborhood, how to comp, how to pick a target market, all that. But they really don't teach you what's the 2 most important skills involved. And Paul and I say this all the time: sales and marketing. Sales and marketing. Sales and marketing. Most important things to wholesaling.
Yep. And one of the and another thing that is always never really discussed is the key element to sales and marketing success, which is follow up, follow up, follow up. Because seriously, as John was just saying there, a lot of what most people get out there and start doing is, even if they're putting out $1,000 a month, they'll put out $1,000 a month towards a list and look for results from that. And then when they don't get any results from that, that list gets scrapped and they totally pull in a whole new list and then send out another $1,000 the next month to a whole brand new list and see what comes out of that. When that's done, scrap that one, go to a new list, and you're looking for that. You're looking for that one touch magical, that magical connection that you're going to hit the right person at the right time. And that's the whole thing right there, is timing. The right person at the right time. You can get a list of 1,000 people and you can start mailing to them, and on that very first touch, maybe you do hit 2 or 3 people that are in the right place at the right time enough to just give you a call back, or maybe 10 people or 20 people, whatever, enough to give you a call back. But here again, too, even out of those 20 people, is there going to be one that's really in the right place at the right time that they're going to take action right now today? But the thing is, the other 980 people on that list, they're going to hit the right place at the right time eventually. At some point in time in the future, they're going to hit the right place at the right time. We always like to say every seller will sell with time and circumstance. So the thing is in your marketing campaign, you would probably have more success if you got one list of 1,000 potential, targeted prospects, and just went to that list over and over and over again for an entire year, than if you got 12 different lists and went to those lists individually each month. Wouldn't you agree, John?
I would agree, and I think it could be proven. One of the mistakes that Paul and I made when we first started this business is not understanding the power of follow-up, mainly because we came into this business from a background that didn't train us in sales and marketing. And the trainings that brought us to wholesaling didn't really focus on they preface marketing and sending out letters, but they really don't teach you a sales system. So if there's one thing I could say I would go back and do if I would have taken sales and marketing coincide with my wholesale real estate training from the get-go, rather than study wholesaling for a year, then realizing it's more about the sales and marketing, and then another year and a half studying that before it really hit me with the, aha, now I understand. Because the one thing they don't ever really teach you is the importance of the follow-up. So in regards to what Paul just said about you'll have more success with a list of 1,000 that you continually market to, as opposed to getting a new list of 1,000 to mail out to each month, I guarantee you have more success just working one list rather than trying to work a different crop of leads every month. Because we rarely ever, I shouldn't say never because it happens, we rarely ever, even when people are in a most dire situation where they are going to lose this house, we don't get a deal signed on initial contact. And anybody that tells you they're signing deals on initial contact because they're so good, or their approach, or how they can hustle people, they're lying to you. They're telling you a lie.
I'm sorry, I just had to laugh. I just looked up at the screen and you kind of cubed out over there, and you look like some sort of I don't know, what was that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Predator? But remember the one where he was like real, like shadowy, or sort of foxy QB kind of running through the forest. That's what you just look like right now. It's awesome.
Oh, nice.
That was totally cool. It's so cool. I forgot what the hell you just said.
I was touching upon, understanding and complementing your studies. If you're really serious about getting into wholesaling, that you need to study sales and marketing as well if you're really going to have success. And I was also just saying how the power is in the follow-up. We rarely, if ever, get a deal on initial contact. And I was just stated that any guru or would-be mentor out there trying to say that they get a deal the first time they talk to somebody, every time, they're not being totally honest with you, number one. And anyone tells you that, oh, they get every deal over the phone, well, how many deals are they missing not getting off their ass and meeting with the sellers face to face? So they may not even realize they're missing deals.
Sure, absolutely. And like you're saying there, that whole sales and marketing thing, that's a great tip. That's probably the best tip we've given out all year. Is to seriously, I mean, if you're thinking about getting started into wholesale real estate and you're studying all the how-to on how to do all the comps and the contracts and the negotiation and the and the how to put out your marketing and all of that stuff. Excuse me. Yeah, absolutely. If you were to, just like we just said, if you were to take one list and market to it 12 times in a year versus 12 lists one time in a year, if you were to take, and put 1 month into how-to study and 3 months into sales and marketing study, you could come out of the gate exploding 10 times more efficiently and successfully than you could just if you just studied the how-to for 6 months.
Absolutely. Because like I said, I think for Paul and I, once we got through our first 2 wholesale real estate transactions together, the very first deals that we had ever done, besides Paul had purchased probably 1 home, which is the home he's living in. What we realize is how actually easy the mechanics are. Actually pretty damn easy when it comes to contracting a property and assigning it. That's simple. Getting the ink on the contract, that's the challenging part. That's the part where people need to be focusing on, is how to open and close a seller, rather than all the real estate minutia. Actually, the real estate education should be a filler. Your main focus, honestly, my opinion, should be in the sales and marketing aspect. You want to grow any business, especially this one, well, I should say especially every business, you got to have strong sales and marketing. Because if a product isn't moved from one person to another, a sale happening, we're still selling, right? Because we're buying from that seller. So a transaction, if a sale's not happening, nothing's happening. No money's being made. Nobody's winning. Nothing's taking place. So if you don't understand sales and marketing, there's no way you can really have success in this business.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, look at what, like John said, where the rubber meets the road, but look at what sales and marketing is, right? Marketing is bringing in the client, bringing in the buyer, bringing in the seller, whatever it is. If you're selling something, if you're looking to buy houses, you're bringing in the sellers. So you got to send out, you've got to draw people into you. That's marketing. Sales now is once you've got them drawn into you, now you got to close them. Now you got to get them signed on the dotted line, as John says. And going back to where we talked about, where this whole show started here, is what is your niche? In where I was talking about, do you think that your marketing piece that goes out to a pre-foreclosure is going to be the same piece that goes out to a, for sale by owner, or an absentee owner, or a probate? You know, I mean, do you think that you just can, all you need is one letter and you can send out to all these people? You need a unique marketing piece for each and every one of these different niches, just to get the people, the right message in front of the right people, so that you can draw in the people that you're working towards, and knowing then on the back end who it is that you are drawing in with your sales program, so that you know how to now take those people that are coming from this certain area with this certain mindset and coming to you as their potential solution here, and knowing how to take that and persuade them that last step along the way that they need to be persuaded, because they're ready to go when they come to you, but they're skeptical, they have questions and doubt and fear. And as the sales side, now you need to persuade them, you need to lead them into your way of thinking, that this is the best thing for you, sign here.
Can't make it any clearer than that. This is a great message again, because we only got a few minutes left here to talk. So rather than go on to another subject, I want to drive home the point of something Paul just pointed out, that this year alone, we probably gave out the best tip of all today, in the regards of just telling you to study sales and marketing along with your real estate education, especially if you're going into wholesaling. These wholesalers deal with people directly. I deal with my seller and I deal with my buyer. I got to know what my seller, I yet got to know what my buyer wants, so I know how to make an offer to my seller. So it's all about people. It's all about relationships. It's all about networking, marketing, sales, the whole thing. So, that's kind of my final thought on this all for today. So, Paul, I'm going to toss it back over to you to give your final thought and close us out with the Napoleon Hill prayer like we do each day. And I'm just going to say goodbye to everybody, that I'll see you back here on Friday, because I just arrived at my location. I got to jump out and get my show on the road because I got a lot to do this morning. But great hangout today, Paul. Thanks for having me on board, and I will see you back here on Freedom Friday.
I just got to say that, yeah, I agree 100%. This was a great hangout. It didn't really go where I first thought it went. It actually went to a much better place. And that's what's so wonderful about Wisdom Wednesday, because the wisdom just flows in from who knows where, and you guys get delivered these gold nuggets, which is why this is tagged as Gold Nugget Day. I mean, you can't get a bigger piece of gold if you're going to look into becoming a wholesale real estate investor, than to study sales and marketing twice as much as you study the how-to to get involved in this. And if you want to have success coming out of the gate, and be able to do this business at a level that you're looking to achieve the financial advantages in life that you're looking for. That's just the way it is. So, but powerful stuff. That's the power of a mastermind. Two thoughts, two minds working together. Like I said, not where I was planning on taking this show, but it went to a much better place because I'm working with someone else's brain in conjunction with mine. And that's the power of team right there, guys. Team is another big piece to wholesale real estate success, because you need to have multiple minds working in harmony together towards a common goal if you want to have the success that you're after. So with that, everybody, I want to thank you all for being here today. I know, I don't even have to hope, I know you got some really, really good stuff out of today's show. Take it, run with it, be successful. If you want to be on a team, PropertyNoodlers@gmail.com. Send us an email. I don't care where you are in the country. We're here in Phoenix, Arizona. If you want to be live with us in person, contact us at thepropertynoodlers@gmail.com. But if you are anywhere in the country, you're interested in our system, our program, our niche, our sales and marketing, our whole Property Noodler system, send us an email to thepropertynoodlers@gmail.com. We are excited right now about getting started in some other areas of the country, some other markets, some other counties here in Arizona. We're expanding. Now is the time. Let's get this thing rolling in your town, our way, so you can have success like nobody else who's doing this in your city or town or wherever the heck you are. O universe, I ask not for more riches, but more wisdom, with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever end I might desire. Everybody make it a great day. Enjoy the rest of your session. We'll see you back here on Freedom Friday with a awesome Hawaiian shirt day. And until then, guys, go out and do what you do.